Hello, everyone. I know Chris and I often joke that some of our only listeners are our mothers, and that is very true. But my mother is a faithful listener every week, and she listens at work with us on speaker and always makes a comment about how much we did or did not curse. And all of her coworkers get to listen. But one of those coworkers, Rhonda, she always faithfully listened with my mother, and she passed away this past week. So today we start the episode with a brief moment of silence for Rhonda.
Hello. Welcome to A Novel Console, your weekly podcast where we talk about books, games, food, and stuff that caught our attention during the week. My name is Chris, and with me, as always, is my beautiful co-host and wife, Karradyne.
Bitch.
I don't know why I always want to say fiance and I always correct myself, but this
What
time,
it took you so long to say fiance?
I know,
My girlfriend.
it's so weird. I don't know.
I've been your wife for almost a year.
So,
almost a year.
when will I start calling you wife? When we get divorced and eventually?
Do you have a cricket sound you can play here?
Yeah, the ones.
The natural ones providing the background music right now?
Yeah, those are the fucking cicadas or whatever the fuck they are in the background.
Oh my gosh, it makes me think of that TikTok of that dog with the cicada in his mouth.
So, you did the intro for your friend, our listener,
Yeah.
Rhonda. So this episode is getting dedicated to her. So we're going to have extra cussing, extra bad words, extra blasphemy.
Yep. All for you,
'Cause,
Rhonda.
That's what people love about this show. How
We might be inappropriate, but we're funny and inappropriate.
Exactly.
Not offensive.
It would be
inappropriate.
It would be completely different if we were offensive and inappropriate.
Yeah,
that
but
would
we're
be
funny.
That would be a better version of this show.
Aw, man.
So, yeah. But to bring up the mood a little bit, we did get a very important message this week.
We
This
did?
past week.
Did
yes.
you did you keep virgin eyes and not read it until right now?
Well,
Did you cheat?
it
You
wasn't.
cheated!
It wasn't from Burger Champ.
We made a pact though.
I know, but it wasn't from Burger Champ. It was-
this should apply to all emails, not just Burger Champ
It
emails.
was Steve from Blue's Clues.
Oh my God, are you fucking kidding me? I have been so out of the loop on this whole damn thing. You take over because I don't know a fucking thing about
So
fucking Blue's
basically, I think I remember this episode because when my sister was little, she used to watch Nick Jr. during the day, and when I didn't have a TV or video games to play, I would be stuck watching it with her. And I do remember this episode. He basically does the whole regular episode, and at the end he says, "Oh, by the way, I'm leaving. This is my cousin Joe. He's going to take over for me." So
That's pretty fucked up.
yeah. So basically, he came back and did a video for Blue's Clues 25th anniversary that Nick Jr. is doing on Facebook. It's this giant ass campaign they're doing. And he basically just said, "Hey, I know it was abrupt, but I never forgotten you. You know, I'm proud of you. I'm happy with everything that you've done up until now and all that." And every single millennial that grew up watching Blue's Clues is happy now because of that.
I feel like I felt during the whole Tiger King phenomenon back at the beginning of the pandemic because we didn't partake in that. And I don't relate to anything on Facebook right now. And it's upsetting.
Didn't we like try to watch one episode?
Yes, and we gave up. We watched one episode while we were eating lunch one day We didn't even make it through the whole episode.
No, it
We
was super
we don't
boring.
like documentary type. No, we're not. Mm-mm.
Yeah. So this whole Steve thing brings me to a realization, right?
What?
And it's that everyone who loved Blue's Clues growing up is now obsessed with Batman.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Because Batman is technically the world's greatest detective. Because he is still a detective, even though
No. Sherlock Holmes is the world's greatest detective.
No. So listen.
No.
Listen,
No.
wife.
No.
Listen, fiance.
No. Hey.
So in Blue's Clues, you find 3 clues throughout the episode, and then you put them all together, and you
Yes,
figure
I
out
remember
what Blue...
this from my stepbrother watching it
what
and
Blue
me like
wants.
wanting to bang my head against the wall.
Right. So in one episode, Blue would say he would put a clue on a disc, a clue on tomato, and a clue on cheese. He wanted a cheese pizza. She wanted a cheese pizza because
Oh
Blue
my
was a girl.
gosh.
So, anyways, same thing applies to Batman. Oh, the bullet came from there, and the gun was shot from there, and it's this specific type of bullet. Then it's this guy. Let's go beat him up. So I'm pretty sure that everybody that loved Blue's Clues is now obsessed with
That
Batman.
is the most ridiculous theory I've ever heard in my life.
You know what is ridiculous?
What?
What really, really is ridiculous?
Bachelor in Paradise.
Yes.
But you know what? You have been sucked in. I find it so funny watching him because he like sprawls out. We have this huge sectional. He sprawls out on his section of the sectional with his phone, and he's in the zone. He's on his TikToks. He's on his Twitters, everything. And then I'll look over, and his phone's on his stomach, and he is just engrossed in all things Bachelor in Paradise.
It's like a train wreck.
He's like, these people are fucking stupid. Keeps watching.
They are stupid.
These idiots. Keeps watching.
See, the thing is, yesterday, we were watching one specific, what is it, a interaction between 2 of these idiots in the
Two of the
island.
sexy people on the beach.
Oh God, they're so bad looking. And this girl just kept saying like. I'm going crazy just listening to her say like. And I'm like, holy shit, what if we
You
make
just
it...
said, I'm like, what if we...
Exactly. See, it's like a fucking virus. It just gets ingrained in you, and you just start saying like all over again.
It's hard not to say the word like, but there are people who definitely overuse it.
Yes. It's just like Rick and Morty at the beginning of the show, where Rick used the word Morty as a crutch to get in between his sentences.
Yes.
So anyways, because she kept saying like, I don't care, then maybe we should do a drinking game out of this show. Every time somebody says like, we take a shot.
We're going to be dead.
And then I noticed that she started talking with a bunch of the other people, and all the other people just said like constantly.
We would be dead.
And then Karradyne suggested we should chug a beer every time somebody says, wanna chat, or can we
Let's
talk?
go have a chat. Can we go have a chat? Let's have a quick chat. Can I steal you for a chat? It drives me nuts the way they speak to each other and like feeling the vibes and like gag me. Are we like to the point where we're not part of this generation yet?
Yeah.
We're getting older. We're on the older side of the Bachelor in Paradise group, and it's kind of upsetting.
The thing, there's a 35-year-old and a 40-year-old.
There's a 40-year-old, but he's the only 40-year-old on the beach. Everybody else is 30 and under.
And they're just as stupid as the 30 and under people.
He really is. I think he might be stupider than some of the younglings.
God, they're just... Oh, my God.
But since the whole, like, Chris Harrison scandal that I don't think I even really understand still to this day, they've brought in all of these guest hosts. So the first week we had David Spade, and right now it's Lance Bass. And so the cast was talking about, like, the best NSYNC album. And somebody said, one of these idiots said... No Strings Attached is the best NSYNC album. And we could not help but agree with this beach idiot.
So not only did we agree, we also decided that maybe we should look up the album and the next best album that they had, which was Pop, and compare the songs. And maybe...
I think Pop was the only good song on Pop.
Really? I thought Pop was a pretty good album.
I don't remember. I feel like I was starting to like phase out of my boy band phase by the time Pop came out. I don't remember exactly what was on that album, but I think Pop was the only song that I regularly listened to. Holy shit, Justin Timberlake looks like a child.
Yep.
A child, a pubescent boy.
Yep.
That is weird. I don't like it. I need it to go away.
Album. Where's the album? There we go. Oh, it's called Celebrity.
Yeah, no, I didn't like that one. I didn't like that one. Mm-mm. I like Pop. That was it.
Let me see the song. So you got Pop, Celebrity, The Game Is Over, Girlfriend, The Two of Us, Gone, Tell Me, Baby, Up Against the Wall, See Right Through You, Selfish, Just Don't Tell Me That, Something You Like, Do Your Thing. And apparently there's a couple more songs. Shit ton of different variations of Pop, Gone, and Girlfriend.
But do you recognize any of those songs?
Two.
Except Girlfriend.
Well, three. Pop, Celebrity, and Girlfriend.
I only recognize Pop and Girlfriend.
Okay, so this album.
No Strings Attached. I feel like if you let me sit here long enough, I could recite in order the song list to you.
Okay, let's do that.
No.
Let's do that.
No,
Let's
you
do
have
that.
to let me sit here for a couple hours and figure it out.
Okay, so I'll do it for you. Bye, Bye, Bye.
Yes.
It's Gonna Be Me.
Yes. It's gonna be me.
Space Cowboy.
Yes.
Just Got Paid.
I didn't really like that one.
It Makes Me Ill. This I Promise You.
Oh, so sad.
No Strings Attached.
Yes.
Digital Get Down.
Yes. Digital, get down.
Bring the Noise.
Yes.
That's When I'll Stop Loving You.
Yes.
That was actually that was a good song.
Yes.
I'll Be Good For You.
Yes.
And I Thought She Knew. I don't remember that last
I
one.
remember that one vaguely. I thought she knew. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
I'm
know.
feeling it.
See,
Now
out
I
of
want
this
to
one,
listen to No Strings Attached.
out of this one, Bye Bye Bye, It's Gonna Be Me, Space Cowboy, because Space Cowboy actually had Lisa Left Eye Lopez from TLC, the one that died in the car crash.
Oh, really?
Was it a car crash? I don't remember.
I don't know.
She featured in that song, and it was also the song for the movie Space Cowboy, which with, I think it was, I don't remember.
We talked about this on the Captain America episode. This is something I actually looked up and know we said right. Tommy Lee Jones is in that movie.
And Space Cowboys?
And that man who plays President Snow. I called him by his son's name. Whatever the fuck his name is.
Okay, so it was James Garner, Clint Eastwood, Tommy Lee Jones, Donald Sutherland.
Donald Sutherland.
Marsha Gay Harden, James Cromwell, William Devane. Wow, this movie is full of old farts.
Marsha Gay Harden. That's what led to our Flubber conversation. We need to watch Flubber together.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I haven't seen that
Anyways,
in a long time.
No Strings Attached is the best NSYNC album.
Yes.
It's a really,
By
really
far.
good, fun album.
By far.
But enough of NSYNC, because we're not a boy band podcast. So after that, you have also been watching a lot of different TV shows.
I've been binging or re-binging my comfort shows. So I'm re-watching comfort shows. First, we know it was Downton Abbey, which he complained about a lot. I watched that one 2 times in a row.
Jesus Christ.
2 times in a row.
How can you even
And then I
handle
was
that?
like, I guess I should give him a little bit of a break. And I decided to rewatch Parenthood. And I actually discovered that I really don't like a lot of these characters. They're actually really annoying, but then I got back into the groove as it went along. You definitely can get like more immersed in it as the seasons go by. And someone else also got immersed in it and kept wanting to stay in the room to watch it with me, even when he could have been gaming.
It's not
he
a
was
bad
always
show.
staying behind to watch it. It's a really good show.
It's not a bad show.
They're
but
very real people, and I think that's why they're so unlikable, because they're so real.
I really, really hate Christina.
So he has lots of hot takes about all of the Parenthood adults.
No,
So
these are not hot takes.
these are hot takes.
These are the adults as told by me.
Okay, so we got to go in age order. So first, we have Adam.
Okay.
What do you think of Adam?
Adam is Christina's punching bag,
Yes.
and he can be a little bit of a tool,
Yes.
and he just wants to make everybody happy.
He's very impatient.
He is very impatient too.
What? Okay, now Christina, tell us how you really feel.
I hate her.
hate her.
She is incredibly selfish, and she is probably an anti-masker. I can see her doing that.
About that.
I I cannot stand her. To me, she feels like the definition of a Karen. I hate her so
But I
much.
think she's a Democratic Karen.
I still hate her. I don't like Christina at all.
Okay.
She is the worst.
Sarah.
She's cool, but she needs to grow up.
Yeah, she does. She's like she's an NBC-ified Lorelai Gilmore here. I feel like she's basically the same character in this show.
I
that she
haven't
is
seen
in
Gilmore Girls. I haven't seen. I've seen bits and pieces that you've been watching.
I showed you
but
Sean Gunn the other day.
I didn't know that it was the weasel. But she needs to grow up. I can see Lorelai and yeah.
Okay, now we're gonna do Hank and Mr. Sear as one. What do you think of them?
Hank is cool. I wasn't expecting for him to be in the show for so long.
I know. I remember being shocked when they showed Ray Romano
Yeah.
the first time. I was like, what?
But then again, what else is he doing right now?
Nothing.
What else was he doing after Raymond? Ice Age?
Nothing. Yeah, that's it. Like literally, basically.
He was great, and the whole journey of him finding out that he does have Asperger's and how he wants to help himself get better so that he can be more socially comfortable and be more likable.
That was awesome.
That was pretty commendable. That was a really, really good character.
Yeah.
Who's
Mr. Sear?
Who's that?
The English teacher, the young man that she was engaged to first.
He's too young. and the little bit that he's in the show, I didn't care for him.
Okay. Now we have Crosby.
I love Crosby.
I know you love Crosby. I think that's honestly the only reason you kept sticking around to watch with me. What's happening with Crosby? What's Crosby doing? Where's Crosby?
Exactly. So
You have a man crush on...
It's Dax Shepard,
Yes.
who's incredibly funny.
He is.
And he's incredibly cool too. Then he's playing this fucking burnt out loser that's trying to get his life straight and do good by his son.
Who pops up out of nowhere at 5 years old.
Exactly. I love Crosby. Crosby was great.
Jasmine,
I feel like they didn't give her enough time to like develop a character.
I feel like we just see her in spurts.
She felt like Crosby's wife and just a cool but more mature version of Crosby. Cooler,
Yeah.
way more mature version of Crosby.
Julia.
There was this whole season.
Julia's a bitch.
There was this whole season of her cheating on her husband and then leaving him and starting dating other people.
Well, technically, he left her.
And I feel like they didn't develop a personality for her. She is a wallflower.
Yeah.
She is a lawyer wallflower.
But yeah, she's a bitch, the wallflower.
She was on, and a lot of the when I first started like sitting down and actually watching the episode with you, every time she showed up, I was like, who the fuck is that? Oh. And I would see Joel, I'm like, that's another person.
Now Joel.
Joel is condescending to Crosby. I don't like...
I didn't really get that.
He calls him, oh, hey, thanks, buddy. Or, hey, buddy. He just feels like incredibly condescending to Crosby. And he tries to be a good dad, but Sydney is a terrible child.
Sydney's the worst, but we can't talk about the children.
No.
We'll be here all day.
And Joel, I mean, they developed this character a lot in those last few seasons.
I had the biggest crush on him the first time I watched this.
Really?
Yeah, now I'm like,
no.
Why? I was also watching this in my early 20s, so my tastes have definitely changed. Thought I wanted to be a parent back then.
Oh, God.
Last but not least, Zeke and Camille.
Oh, you forgot one.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Who did I forget?
Amber.
She's not an adult. She's a kid.
She ends up being an adult.
Oh, we're not going to talk about her. She's grouped with the kids. Zeke and Camille.
Let's start with Zeke.
Ezekiel.
That old man is an asshole.
Yes, he is. Oh, my gosh. I'm watching it in the beginning. I'm like, why did I ever think this man was like my gramps? He's a turd. But he really does love his family, like, a lot.
That whole bit where Max calls what's-her-face a bitch twice.
Christina.
And they stay from visiting his mom.
Zeke's mom.
Zeke's mom.
For For her 85th birthday or something like
And
that.
he just keeps telling Adam, let me call her, let me call her, let me call her, let me call her. It's like, dude, what the fuck?
Just drop it.
And he does that throughout the series constantly.
He's always trying to like undermine the parenting choices of his children.
That old man is terrible. Now, Camille
Looks like she's ready to kill everybody.
I feel
she's gonna come up in that house with a gun. Boom, boom, boom.
I feel like she is the personification of pent-up aggression. She is one misplaced knife in the knife drawer from having a full, complete murder spree.
Yeah, basically.
I don't know if it's the actress or if it's the character itself, but you can see her resentment for the entire family throughout the entire series. I feel like when Zeke dies at the end, she has a complete weight lifted off her shoulders and she can finally travel and forget her family and do everything she always wanted.
Her Act 3.
God, poor Camille. Oh my God. Zeke is an asshole. I hate that old man.
Well, no spoilers, but the show might not end in his favor. Anyway.
I already said that he died.
Now I've moved on to Gilmore Girls, so you get to be subjected to that.
Oh God!
Yay.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm bowing out. I am not doing that shit.
Oh my God!
I'm out. I'm out. All right, so let's continue. We got 2 more things before we actually get to our topics.
It'll be a long ass episode.
Fuck it. I mean, it's a day late.
We've had
It's a buck short.
Wasn't that one
You're writing
episode
the
like an hour
report.
and a half long?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last one.
This would be our second longest. Well, I just jinxed it. It's probably gonna be longer than that one.
All right. So the next thing we have is El Ayuwoki.
I still can't. I can't believe this is actually a thing. This can't be a thing.
Okay, so I only put it here because we talked about this last night and because Horror Month is soon. Can you explain to me what El Ayuwoki is?
No, because I still don't even remember what you said. No, I can't.
Just try.
No.
Just try.
Something
give me your
about
best
Michael Jackson protecting the people or you screaming, coming back as a ghost, and I don't even know what you said. I don't even know.
Okay.
I was delirious.
So El Ayuwoki is, let's say, Slender Man, right?
Oh, right. Yeah.
So he is a cryptid like the Slender Man, except it's based on Michael Jackson. And exactly, and people call him El Hee or El Ayuwoki because before he kills you, you hear hee or Ayuwoki.
It's so fucking stupid. That's the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard in my life. Ridiculous.
I think it's so fucking funny though.
Oh my God.
And then
Some like Voldemort looking motherfucker coming up behind you.
They use like the worst Michael Jackson stock photo available for the thing.
I remember the first time I saw a photo of Michael Jackson. It was on like one of those paper magazines, the hokey ones that are always at the cash register.
The Bad Boy magazine,
yeah,
the Global Inquirer or something like that.
Yeah. That was the first time I ever saw a picture of him, and I thought he was a woman.
So, you remember Men in Black, the first movie we watched?
Yeah.
We watched the first movie, and you remember the scene where they said, "Oh, we're gonna go straight to the news source." They're like, "What? You mean like the newspaper stand?" It's like, no. The tabloids, and they go and they buy a bunch of those magazines.
Yes, I remember that.
and the one about Ed said, "An alien stole my husband's skin."
Yes.
That movie's so great. We need to finish watching those.
No,
movies.
I'm good. I'm
Oh,
good.
they're so
I'm
good.
done.
So the first time I saw Michael Jackson was in an Alvin and the Chipmunks VHS tape that my parents bought me.
That was random.
It was a VHS tape that had Will Smith as the host, and he's talking about Alvin and the Chipmunks in music. And at the end of the video, for some reason, they saved Alvin and the Chipmunks being with Michael Jackson in his music videos. One of them was in Smooth Criminal. So it was the version of Smooth Criminal from the movie, not the actual music video, because the music video is kind of like a sped up version of it and blurry. So it was that version of the Moonwalker movie. and Alvin was dancing with him and like throwing the coin into the jukebox and whatever. And then the other one was Beat It. So it was super weird seeing white Michael Jackson and then immediately have black Michael Jackson afterwards.
That's really confusing.
And I'm like 4 years old and I'm wondering if this is a man or a woman.
Yep, he was a unique entity, that's for sure. Quite unique.
Yeah, very weird. Very weird. But he's not here anymore.
May he rest in peace.
All right, so moving on to Burger Champ's email.
Oh, Lord, we're just now getting to a Burger Champ email.
Yep, and then we
take
start.
Forever.
Yep.
We're just not going to review anything. This is just going to be a garbage episode.
Just a garbage episode. So I did read it, but I purposely forgot it.
Cheated!
I forgot it, and I saw. I didn't even remember what the title was, and the title of the email is Burger Champ Esquire. So Burger Champ says, it is said you should never judge a book by its cover. What is an example of a game or book that you picked up because of the cover and it turned out to be great? What food did you love despite its terrible packaging or marketing? You want to go first?
No, I need a minute. I need a minute.
Okay, let's take a minute.
A lot of my books are cover by, so, oh, Lord.
Let's take a minute then.
A cover by book that turned out to be, like, amazing for me, granted it's been years since I read it, was A Great and Terrible Beauty by Libba Bray. But the cover is this young girl, long red hair. She's got her back towards you. She's in a pretty corset. And I was just like, ooh, this looks really cool. And it's actually really fucking cool. I need to reread those books. They're so good, or they were so good to, like, 16-year-old me. Hopefully almost 30-year-old me would still find them fun. But yeah, I didn't regret that one. I've regretted a lot because I'm a bad cover buyer person.
So I think that mine is probably going to have to be Tales of Symphonia. I do love the Tales of series. I think it's better than Final Fantasy. And if you have a problem with that, send me an email and tell me why I'm wrong. But Tales of Symphonia, it just looks so cool. It has the main character with the swords. It has some of the other characters in the background. It's actually the header to most of our shit. If you go to our YouTube channel or our Instagram, that's actually in the header.
I was about to say it's definitely not the only thing in the header.
It's not the only thing, but it's...
some of my shit's in there too,
Yeah.
Please and thank you.
So it's actually in the header, and I actually picked that game on purpose. And then the thing is, when the game came out, I wasn't a fan of RPGs or JRPGs because most of them were turn-based, and I didn't have the brain power to sift through them, except for Final Fantasy VI for some reason. And once I found out that this game plays as a brawler, like a beat-em-up with RPG elements, I was completely in. You make your own combos, you have special attacks, you have magic, you have a party that fights alongside with you, just not controlling and telling everybody to do. It's just so much fun. I thought that game was great. And it was a good pick just by the cover art.
That's awesome.
What about a food? Do you have a food?
A food that was not packaged nicely, but was really good.
So I'm thinking Payday.
Payday.
Yes.
What?
Yeah. So the
What?
Payday bar, the candy bar, it's super boring wrapping. It's white and it has the word Payday on it, and inside it's just boring peanuts and caramel. But I think it's so good. It's so good. Like the salty peanuts with the really rich caramel is just wonderful. I think that's great.
I suppose. I'm really struggling with this one.
Really?
I don't know.
What about a drink?
A drink?
Yeah.
This is going to be so random. But if you get a chicken strip basket at Dairy Queen, you get to choose what kind of dipping sauce you want. But they have the option of a gravy to dip your chicken strips in. And it comes in this stupid little styrofoam solo thing with a stupid styrofoam lid. But that little styrofoam container holds greatness. That fucking gravy is
the
so
best drink.
damn good.
The best drink you will ever have from Dairy Queen. Just get a jumbo-sized gravy and an extra wide straw.
My gramps used to take us to Dairy Queen all the time, most of the time for ice cream. But when we got food, we always got the chicken strip baskets with gravy. And I swear, I don't think any other kids ever got it with gravy. It was always like honey mustard or ketchup. But that gravy is where it's at, yo. And it just looks so depressing, but it's so good. So good.
That's a good one. I do have another one, though.
What?
Luna, she looks so stupid and terrible. She looks like the worst actual dog.
But she's the best dog in the world.
Yeah, she is.
You fall in love with her. You just have to spend just a little bit of time with her, and you just think she's the cutest thing ever. You come in thinking she looks like a rat. You leave thinking she looks like the love of your life.
Better than children.
Yeah.
So, do you want to go ahead and get into your section now that we're past 30 minutes?
I'm ready. I'll try to keep it short and sweet.
All right. So, this is Book Talk.
This week's books are Paper Girls, Volume 1 and 2 by Brian K. Vaughan, Cliff Chiang, Matthew Wilson, and Jared K. Fletcher. The first volume was published on April 5th, 2016 by Image Comics, and Volume 2 was published on November 30th, 2016, also by Image. So Chris has been telling me randomly, like, over the past, I don't even know how many years we've been together now, all these comics that I need to read, and I've slowly added them to my list. Very, very, very slowly I'm getting to them. So I'm finally getting to Paper Girls. I did not realize until I downloaded it last night that Brian K. Vaughan was one of the authors. He is one of the authors of Saga, which I think I reviewed. Didn't I review the last? Or did I just complain about them being on hiatus?
I think you might have complained. And also, this was a recommendation by Mariela.
Yes. Does she regularly listen?
Kiko listens to every week.
Okay, well, tell her we talked about her.
And she has told me.
And things that she likes.
She has told me that he comes to her job to pick her up in the car, and he's like blasting the podcast.
That's adorable.
And it makes her feel like we're in the car talking to them.
That's adorable, even though they've never met me.
Just in the back seat, just saying words.
Talking their ears off.
Hey, Kiko, you got a flat tire. We got to pull over.
Not letting them get in a word. I'm going to feel really, really bad if he just literally got a flat tire.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. Please, no.
Hey, J1 chopped, so he can't pay with the $10,000.
Oh, my gosh. You can't just say random stuff like that and not explain it. Oh, God. Okay, so.
We have a friend that looks like a competitor from Chopped, and the competitor won, and I sent him a message. So he said, holy shit, you weren't Chopped and you won. And he says, my doppelganger won. Is living my dreams.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yep. Everywhere one of us has, or everywhere each one of us has a doppelganger who is living our dream.
Yeah.
And we suck.
Yeah, probably my doppelganger is dead somewhere.
What? Don't say that.
That's my dream.
That's not funny.
Let's get back to Paper Girls.
Oh my God. Okay, yeah. So I don't know what the fuck I was expecting when I started reading this, but it was not this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and spoil a lot of the first volume for you. It was published in 2016, so I have the 5-year. I'm what's the word I'm looking for here? It's like community. It's okay if I spoil it for you now. Okay, so basically it's 1988. We have Paper Girls delivering the local newspaper at the ass crack of dawn. Because, you know, the newspaper's got to be delivered as people are waking up so they can walk out and read their newspaper over their morning coffee and toast.
Right.
So.
Not avocado toast, because these aren't millennials.
I believe it's like Halloween, and they're kind of being pestered by some turds in their Halloween costumes. There's this new girl who's a new paper girl, and the other girls, 3 other girls, come up to her and like, hey, you can come hang out with us because it's dark and boys are being sketchy. We can protect each other, whatever. Well, then you see these other 3 dudes running around, and they look really super sketchy, and like their faces are covered, but you can see their eyes, and their pupils look really weird, like a hazard symbol, and their faces look burned, but you can only see their eyes. Really, it's really freaking weird. Okay, so basically these girls like find this Doctor Who looking spaceship shit in the basement of an abandoned house, and there's like a blast, and they find this little chip that has the Apple logo on it, and I'm like, what the actual fuck is happening? There's like some time travel shit. These dudes wind up revealing themselves, and they're just like genetically modified and disfigured boys who are like from the future, and they're like, yeah, we're teenagers like you. So what I've gathered so far is that it's like the teenagers versus the boomers, and there's some time travel shit. Like at the very end of the first volume, we wind up jumping from 1988 to 2016, and the new paper girl, they run into that year's version of her. It's so wackadoo. And like the Apple logo is everywhere. At the end of volume 2, they wind up in like, I guess like an alternate reality or world. One of the characters keeps saying there's not like an alternate world. People don't understand that. It's like all the same. It's just, I don't know. I need to read more, obviously. But like there's this hill, and there's like this goat demon painted on the hill with the fucking Apple logo above his head. I'm like,
what the fuck?
What is Apple doing here? What the hell? It's wacky. It is wacky. There are like some pterodactyl things that come out of the sky. All the adults like talk really weird. It's like they speak like Jamaican text speak.
What?
I wish I could.
Jamaican text speak?
It's like Jamaican text speak. It's like what you would, imagine your parents trying to use hip text logo, but also having like a Jamaican twang to it, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Does that,
right.
it's so confusing.
Yeah, now it makes sense.
I'm just really excited to see where this goes, because like I know it's like time travel and shit, but we don't really know yet exactly why the teenagers and the old timers, I think they called them, did they call them old timers? No, somebody calls Alzheimer's old timers. But why these two are so pitted against each other. Like, did the boomers try to kick all the teenagers out? I don't know what's happening. But the art style is really cool. It is very similar to Saga, sort of, but also not as refined as Saga.
So it doesn't
if that makes sense. It's like more cartoony, but also...
So it doesn't get really gruesome like Saga got.
It's a little gruesome, but it's a little more PG than Saga was so far.
Okay.
So far. It's really
Saga.
only the F-bombs that they drop all the time that make it more mature thus far. Saga
Saga
was inappropriate as hell.
Saga could get real gruesome
really,
quick.
really gruesome, really, really quick.
Like with that ghost.
Blowing out the brains of a child. Yeah, the ghost. Isabel?
Yeah.
Wasn't that her name? Yeah, her intestines were hanging out the entire time.
That one, the first time I saw it, I was like, oh.
Yeah. Lots of genitalia. Lots of things happening to genitalia.
I didn't think I got that far.
Oh, there's a lot.
Oh, I'm not going to read it now because they're not going to finish it.
I hope he finishes it. Oh my God. I need to know what happened. I need to know if he really died or not. But yeah, so it's similar, but like not as sharp or clean, I guess you could say. But it's really, really colorful. And I cannot say enough how much I appreciate color in my graphic novels. I don't like reading black and white shit. It's so boring.
Well, you volunteered yourself to read Tommy.
I know. But it's okay because it's Halloween and spooky, so it doesn't need color.
That's
right?
True.
Does that make sense?
I guess.
I don't know.
I guess.
But yeah, I'm really excited to see where this goes. I'm going to use my handy dandy Hoopla borrows to continue reading, and I'm excited. I was looking up the series on Goodreads, and it looks like...
Hoopla!
What the fuck? It looks like I have a lot to go in this one, so will I drag it out over the course of our entire relationship like I did Saga and then be devastated when I finally get to the end and find out it's unfinished? Or will I binge all of them in the next week? Because I read the first one last night and I read the second one before we recorded this episode.
Oh boy.
Too bad Hoopla only gives me 10 downloads a month. Fucking Hoopla.
Hoopla, hoopla. I mean, with the way that you are with these comic books, sometimes you get really into them and you just like blaze through them. Sometimes you don't. I feel like this one might be a blaze through them type of comic.
You know what comics and graphic novels have become to me?
What?
They have become what Disney Emoji Blitz used to be to me. I would go on binges of playing it for hours and hours and hours, and it was like all I thought about, and then I would forget about it for months. And then I'd discover it again in hours and hours and hours and hours. That is exactly what I do with these Hoopla borrows. It's like I forget about it. Oh my God.
Hoopla! Jesus!
It's like I forget about it all month. And then I'm down to like the last couple days in the month where I have to use my borrows, or it just starts over and I miss like 10 graphic novels that I could have borrowed. You know what I'm saying? So I forget about it all month long. And then boom, I have to binge because I finally remembered. That's what I did at the end of August. I forgot about it all month long. And then I remembered on like the 29th. And I downloaded so many things to binge.
What did you download?
I downloaded Aquacorn Cove. I downloaded the next issue of Something is Killing the Children, which is really not exciting at all.
I thought you said that you borrowed the next Bubble. I was gonna get really excited.
No, Bubble just published, so there's not going to be another Bubble for probably like another year.
That was a good book.
As soon as there is another
really
Bubble, you will be the first to know.
Good, because I really enjoyed it.
I did too.
I kind of want to read that Paper Girls comic, because Mariela like.
You should. I think you would really like it. Because, I mean, I think it's more enthralling than Saga in a way. Because Saga, like they really drug it out.
Saga was a fucking chore to get into. I think I started that comic
really
like
loved
2 or
it.
3 times before it finally got me. And
Well, this one's really interesting. And there's something constantly happening. And there's like a cliffhanger at the end of every issue. And there are like 5 issues to each volume. So that's what I really fucking hate about comics. When you get down to the issues, waiting for each issue, and it's not the next volume, because shit, I can read an issue in like 2 fucking minutes.
So
what the hell?
I'm going to tell you something very infuriating.
But it helps with my numbers for the year of how many books I read, because I count every single issue as
individually.
A book. Yeah.
So there was a time where I got into comic books really, really hard. This was when I was still in Puerto Rico. It was, it was like a 3-year period. I know it ended a little bit before I met you, where I was really into comics, just reading like all the indies, all the big names. And I decided to read the Teen Titans run from 2003, I think.
Well, you and Marla need to talk about Teen Titans, because she was asking me some shit about it this week. I'm like, I don't know fucking shit about Teen Titans.
Listen to this shit. This shit is infuriating, because I had read 2 or 3 comics from that run when they came out, and the drugstore where I used to buy my comics from stopped bringing them in. They would just sporadically bring in something random or some shit. Mm-hmm. And I managed to find them online. I downloaded all of them, and I started reading it, and it would just one comic would start like this thread, this new plot line. And at the end of the comic, it said, if you want to continue this plot line, read this comic of this character, number this. And then the next issue would completely ignore that plot line. It just started in the issue before.
That's really confusing.
It fucking drove me batshit, because there was one of the issues. One of the issues was that Red Hood broke into Teen Titans Tower, dressed as the new Robin, beat the shit out of the new Robin, and said, if you want to get your pride back, come see me at this place. And then the next issue just completely ignored that shit.
What?
Yeah. Like, I was like, what the fuck is going on with this? And like 5 other different chapters did the same thing. I was just going crazy. I mean, it's a way to get to sell comics.
Right.
But holy fuck, is it a terrible way to tell a story.
That's why I always had a hard time with the superhero comics. I feel like there's just way too much going on, way too many possibilities, way too many timelines, way too many story arcs. Everybody has like 50 different lives that they lived. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
They released a new episode of Death Battle this week, and it was Tony Stark versus Bruce Wayne.
What? Why haven't you shown it to me?
I just watched it today while I was eating lunch. No, not epic rap battles. No.
Oh, it's something different.
Death Battle.
It's the one with the cartoon dudes.
Yes.
With the man with the voice. I can't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The
The
one I don't
boomstick.
like.
Yes. So
That one. Where they do like the statistical probability of who would win. Okay.
Yes.
Who won?
Iron Man. Oh. Iron Man won. But
Bruce is totally smarter than him.
yes, but like all the shit that they showed that Iron Man has done, because they take like all the universe together and like
That's
take
too
all of
much.
that into consideration,
Too
not just one
much.
timeline.
Right.
It's fucking crazy.
It's too much.
It is. It's insane. That's
like,
why
what if is fucking with my head? Like,
that
what's
this
real?
this fucking crazy bullshit of everybody gets to do their own timeline is the reason why nobody can beat Superman, because he is just omnipotent. He is basically God. It's crazy. But
Well, I'm glad he's in DC. I don't have to deal with him because I don't
Yeah.
like that shit.
anyways, this has become a comic book podcast, and we really don't read comic books at all.
We don't. I mean,
I'll talk Nailbiter and sex criminals, but that's about
I
it.
need to read Nailbiter.
Oh, Nailbiter is so you so freaky.
Oh.
You will have a little bit of a tough time with it, but it's good.
Is it as freaky as Uzumaki?
No.
Oh.
No, and
Well,
it's
then
a
I'll
bit,
be okay.
And it's more cartoonish, so the gruesome stuff doesn't really hit that hard. So what are you gonna rate Paper Girls?
I gave them both 5 stars. They're very good. Very good. I cannot wait to see what happens next, and you need to read them. Yes.
I will.
There's another book that I have that he needs to read too. I need all of you to help me convince him.
Oh, that's probably gonna happen.
Yes.
That's probably gonna happen.
Okay,
We got stuff that we need to work out. We also got stuff that we need to work out with some of our guests. We do
We
have
have
two
too much
confirmed.
shit coming up.
Yeah, we have 2 confirmed, which is great. So that's fun. Anyways, it's time for games and stuff. This week's game is No More Heroes 3 for the Nintendo Switch. It is the 4th installment in the No More Heroes franchise. It is an action-adventure, open-world hack-and-slash game developed and published on August 27th, 2021 by Grasshopper Studios. So this game it's kind of batshit. This is the perfect type of game to do that I tell the story, the whole story to Karradyne, because I know that she would be like blown away by the bullshit that just happens in this game, because it's just
Man, you told me some shit, and I was just like, it felt like a fever dream.
It does,
It was
it does.
wacky. It was like that book that I read with the pirates and the houses.
So while I was writing out the stuff that I want to say, just making sure my notes are all straight, I started looking up like information on it because I had some doubts on some stuff regarding the story. And let me just go over some of the stuff that I found. All right, so in the game you play as a professional assassin called Travis Touchdown.
What?
Yeah.
Why is his name Travis Touchdown?
His name is Travis Touchdown. As he fights his way through the intergalactic superhero
With a
rankings.
football?
No, with a beam katana that he won on an internet auction. So Travis Touchdown is based on Johnny Knoxville.
Are you kidding me?
Nope.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm serious.
Oh my God. Of all people.
Yep. But the difference is that he's an otaku that collects anime and wrestling figures and memorabilia and shit.
I can't see Johnny Knoxville collecting anime anything.
So, like I said, he has a beam katana, which is basically a lightsaber.
Uh-huh.
He won it in an internet auction.
eBay.
And Yeah, basically. And he drives around the city of Santa Destroy, California in a motorcycle that used to look like an X-Wing in the first game.
What the hell?
In the second game, it looked like a more refined X-Wing.
What?
And in this new game, it looks like the motorcycle from the anime movie Akira. It's nerd shit. It's complete nerd shit. The entire game is just...
Except for Johnny Knoxville and touchdowns. Nerds don't know what touchdowns are.
That's true. So basically, the way that he becomes an assassin in the first game is that he spent too much money on the beam katana, so he's completely broke and he can't buy any more anime or wrestling things. So he decides to enter the assassin ranking battles and kill his way from number 11 all the way to number 1.
With his beam katana.
With his beam katana. And on top of that, he has the added motivation of having sex with Sylvia Christel, which is a French lady in the game, who is also the promoter of the assassin rankings. The game is so incredibly
random,
and nonsensical and bloody. It's like if Quentin Tarantino actually made something good.
Burn.
It actually feels a lot like what's his Robert Rodriguez, the one that does Grindhouse and all those Mexican action bloody movies.
Machete.
Yeah, because they're funny, and on top of that, there's just a lot of action. So it feels like that. Except this one is directed by Suda51, who's a super fucking crazy video game director. Dude makes really fun games, but not all of them are great. So the graphics in the game, they're colorful, and the character models do look really good, and they have like this cell shading style where they look kind of like a cartoon, like a regular person like covered in cartoon painting, which is it looks really good, especially on the aliens since they're so colorful, and when you kill them, their blood comes
there
out.
Are aliens on top of all of this
It's the
madness?
super galactic. The intergalactic superhero ranking, and it's all made by evil alien assassins who call themselves superheroes.
What?
Yes.
What?
And their leader is called Jess Baptiste the Sixth, but his human friend calls him Fu.
Are you fucking
So
kidding
people,
me?
instead of calling him Baptiste,
They call him Fu.
Baptiste, they call him Fu.
Fu.
Yeah, Prince Fu.
Oh. Makes me think of Boo.
Prince Fu, and he has eyes everywhere. So it's so crazy. So the game looks good. It just plain looks good. There are moments where I saw intense flickering, where in the cutscene, the camera was moving around, and like you would see a texture or something just flickering in and out of existence, basically, like a pavement was just coming in and out of the picture. In one instance, while I was fighting some enemies, Travis lost his sword.
Oh
He
no.
just kept swinging his empty arm around and doing damage anyways. And the sword was like
What?
stuck on the floor somewhere.
What?
And in another instance, his character model just completely disappeared entirely. Like no Travis at all in the cutscene.
This wasn't like a glitch?
Yeah, it was.
It was a glitch.
Yeah,
Oh,
these
okay.
these were all glitches.
Oh, I thought you were telling me this was like supposed to be because it's so quirky.
No, this wasn't
okay.
intentional.
Okay.
And another thing is that it's an open world, and the way that the open world is made is that while you're driving your motorcycle, the world populates itself. It's not just already populated and it's all predetermined to where you're going to go, then stuff is going to start moving. No, the world just kind of like builds itself as you're moving around, and there's not a lot of NPCs in the world, so it just looks barren and empty. And I really wish they would have cut that part entirely out, because it just detracts from the game. There's a lot of things in this game that detract incredibly from the game, like the sound design.
Oh boy.
The music is very repetitive, and the sound effects get really annoying. I cannot tell you how many times I wanted to claw my ears off because I got on the motorcycle and the fucking music started, and it was just the worst song on a loop constantly. But to save that, the voice acting is incredible. It's phenomenal.
Anybody famous?
Let me take a look. So from what I see, the only famous voice actor that we have is Ike Amadi. and that means nothing to you because
Not a damn
yeah,
thing.
he is the voice of Shao Kahn, the evil, super evil bad guy of Mortal Kombat.
Nope, I will never know what that
So,
means.
so the funny thing is that this character, he sounds super imposing. He is the ruler of Outworld, and the character he plays in the game is a little kitty cat called Jean.
It's like Yisma.
Yeah. So this character, the cat he plays, it's super funny. It was one of my favorite parts of the game because there's a mini game where you throw a ball at the cat, and the cat just bats it away from where you were throwing it, and sometimes he just goes meow, and it is the most funny shit I could ever possibly think of.
Oh my god.
To the point that I think is the funniest shit I've seen throughout this entire year. It's just great. Now, Robert Atkin Downs does voice Travis Touchdown, and he does a great performance, even though the script is complete and utter nonsense, and it doesn't feel like that's the way people talk when they talk, but it's still pretty great. So let's get to the gameplay. The gameplay at best is dated. It feels like an early PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 game, and at worst, it feels like a mid-generation PlayStation 2 game. So for the fights, you have two attack buttons, a heavy and a light. You have a dodge, a roll. You can also do wrestling moves on the enemies whenever they're stunned, so you can recharge your sword, which I do appreciate that they kept the charging motion for the sword, where you have to grab the Joy-Con and shake it.
You told me about this. You have to jerk it off.
You have to jerk off the Joy-Con. And then Travis is in camera jerking off the beam katana or grabbing it with both hands and going down. So that's very funny. So, and then when you're actually fighting the enemies, they have like a little heart symbol with little pixel dots in it that keep going down as you hit them. And when they reach 0, it gives you the prompt to do a kill animation, which you either swing your remote or you hit the joystick in one direction on the control, and he kills them. And then when he kills them, like, he either cuts their head off or cuts them in half, and just a bunch of blood starts flying everywhere. But when they're aliens, instead of red blood, it's rainbow blood, like different colors. The blood is just changing colors as it's blurting out. It's super, super colorful. Like I said, there's a ton of blood in the game, but it's part of the game's charm. I mean, if you played No More Heroes, if the first game opens up with you killing a bunch of dudes down a hallway, getting to the boss, and cutting his head off, and when he dies, there's just blood fucking everywhere. It's just part of
Rainbow blood?
No, regular red blood.
Oh.
So it's like shocking the first time you see it, but then when you play this game and you don't see the blood, probably something's wrong. This might not be No More Heroes anymore. And then you have a little tiger face in the corner of your screen. And this tiger's face starts changing and evolving the more hits you land without getting hit. And whenever it changes a form, your attacks change. So your light attack becomes longer and deals more damage, and your heavy attack does the same. And the sword, the beam katana kind of changes as you're going. Like, it becomes longer, heavier. It adds more beams around it. So it gives you a good alternative to not get hit. Whenever you kill an enemy, there's a little roulette that pops up. And whenever that roulette lands 3 of the same symbol, you get a special ability. Whether it's a specific boost, like more attack, take no damage, unlimited wrestling moves, extra strong attacks. And one of the cool things is that it gives you a Super Sentai transformation, and it basically turns Travis into a Power Rangers character.
What?
Yeah. So at first it's kind of lame because you only get missiles and they do a little bit of damage to all the enemies. But later on in the game, it gives you like a full-on transformation where you have like swords and everything and all the missiles and shit. So you're just wrecking ass the entire time. And that it's fun when it gets to that point. But the first one, it looks cool because he like does the whole hand movement over his face and he says, Henshin, and he transforms. So that... it has its moments. This game has its moments of just pure fucking brilliance. But outside of battle,
It's wacky.
it's crap. It is just bad. You have an open world that you can explore. You have to collect money to buy your way into battles. Not only that, but you have to take part in fights to be qualified to be able to go into those battles. So not only do you have to pay, you have to prove yourself, which you already fucking did by killing the one boss before. It just seems like artificially extending the game. And the mini games, there's like 5 mini games, and 2 of them I did really, really like. I kept doing them over and over again because they was just so fun. The rest of them suck. The first one that I liked was the lawn mowing mini game.
What?
Yeah, so basically, in this mini game, you have a lawnmower and you just have to mow the lawn.
Is it like you and Zelda with cutting the grass?
Yes. It feels so cathartic. It feels like
A job well done.
it
You
feels
cut that grass.
rewarding.
You cut that grass, bitch.
It feels more rewarding than cutting grass in real life. So the thing is, you have like a time limit, and you have to cut the grass in the set time limit. And if you hit rocks, it sets you back, and you lose time and all that shit. It's just fun. It just feels like Zen. It's like another spot of brilliance in the game. The second one is a bit more straightforward, which is basically shoot down the giant crocodiles that are trying to get to the beach. You have a tank. There's ginormous crocodiles walking, like Godzilla-type crocodiles walking onto the beach. You have to shoot them down. That one was really fun. I also paid out a lot of money, so I did that one a lot. The other mini games, they were kind of shit. There's one about unclogging a public toilet so you can use it to save your progress. There was a mining mini game where you would have to run through a mine, avoiding death traps to get ore for some fucking reason, which was completely stupid. I hated that one mini game because I died a bunch of times in it. There's a trash collecting mini game where you have to collect trash in a lake, and the lake is filled with crocodiles, so you have to watch out for the bubbles. And whenever the crocodiles try to attack you, you can hit a button, and Travis will do a wrestling move on the crocodile and take it down. So it's it's just fucking crazy. And another one is just fighting waves of enemies over and over again, which brings me to one specific point that I hated about this game. The enemies literally have fucking plot armor.
Plot armor?
Yes. So you know how in movies the main character can't die because he's the main character?
Yes. Main character energy.
Yes. So these monsters, aliens or whatever, throughout the game, they start adding literal armor to them. There's some that have like a helmet, like a motorcycle helmet. They start adding like football player armor onto them, and it just adds on to their life. And it's, I guess plot armor is not the right word. It's like progression armor. There we go. Progression armor.
Makes sense.
Oh God, it just made like the end game just fucking unbearable because I already have been fighting these fucking enemies since the start of the game. I already know their patterns. I already know what to do. Now it just takes longer for me to kill them. I have to hit them more for them to die the same way that they died before. Like it literally adds nothing to the game except for artificially extending the time that the game lasts and annoying the shit out of me. It just fucking drove me insane. It's just obnoxious. So, good thing is that you can level up Travis's health and his attack with a special currency that you earn after you finish the minigames. You actually earn 2 currencies. One's Utopia coins, the other one's, I don't remember the name, which is the one that you use to level up your shit. You can level up your health and your attack. You can level up your battery life. And you can buy new moves, which I didn't buy all of them, but I didn't really feel like I needed to buy them. So they felt a little bit unnecessary, just like the chipsets that you could create with the items that you gain from battles and shit. So those chipsets would boost your stats, decrease some, so you would have to play with them to get to a point where, and I didn't even care, and I just completely ignored them. Throughout the world, there's a ton of stuff to collect. There's trading cards, there's trees you can plant and then climb them to get that specific currency you need to level yourself up. There's scorpions you can find to use in ramen.
What?
Yeah, and there's aliens that...
It's me ramen, because I'm a Scorpio. Scorpion ramen.
And there's aliens that sell t-shirts that you can buy from them.
What?
It's so fucking crazy, I tell you. Like, there's just just snippets of brilliance throughout the entire game. One thing that I did kind of like and I didn't like is that you have money. You have to pay this money so you can gain access to your ranking battles. You can also use this money to buy food, sushi, and
Ramen.
the sushi.
Scorpion ramen.
You can't buy the scorpion ramen,
Damn.
unfortunately. And I didn't find all the fucking scorpions, so I don't really know if you can even eat the ramen. But the sushi gives you special boosts during fight. You know, you can have harder attacks, longer battery life, recharge your health, shit like
With
that.
some amazing sushi.
I mean, it doesn't look as good as Yakuza sushi, to be honest. But let's go ahead and get into the problems with the game, because I feel like I've been complaining the entire time about this game.
You have.
Yeah. So my biggest issue with the game is the open world aspect of it. Like, you have this incredible boss fight. You know, it's a super huge visual treat. It's incredibly funny. You have like these cool action set pieces. Then you go to the open world and it just kills the pace of the game entirely. It makes you play tedious mini games, annoying fights, and this is what makes this game feel so dated and not fun. One of the huge problems that I had with the game is that between the second game and this game, there was one called, I think, Travis Strikes Again, or Travis Strikes Returns, or whatever the fuck. And they added a lot of shit that ended up being canon to the story. So there's a cutscene early in the game where all these characters are coming out. They're all doing all this crazy shit. And I have no idea who the fuck these characters are. One or two of them I remember from the first and second game. But then I had to stop the cutscene. I had to go to somewhere and find a synopsis of that game and read the entire fucking story, which was like 4 pages of story, just so that I could be caught up, so that I know what the hell was going on in this cutscene. So I would have really appreciated to have either a text synopsis that would tell me what the hell is going on, or a video explaining the events of the previous game, because from the first to the second, they did do that. They explained to you what the hell happened in the first game. Why couldn't they do it in this one? But there's not to say that I did not have, that I don't have praises for the game, because the game is very stylish and it has really good sense of humor. I love how the game pokes fun at pop culture, specifically in the room where you fight the first boss. Basically, the room is covered in face hugger eggs, and
What?
and the cat Gene says, "Oh, this looks like that one Aliens movie that we saw the other day."
Oh my God.
Like, they literally say and they capitalize the A in Aliens, so they literally reference the movie by name, which is great. And a little alien pops out of the egg. It walks towards Travis because it's a little baby, and Travis is being like, "Oh, come here, you cute little thing," and then it ends up swallowing him whole and sending him to another dimension
fuck?
to fight the actual boss of that first stage. I love how the game is structured, that it feels like you're watching a Netflix episode. So before each quote-unquote episode, it has an intro with all the voice actors' names popping up as the character they're playing, which change in every single episode. So
What?
you're not going to have all the same credits to say in every episode. They all change constantly, because there might be one boss that appears in this one that didn't appear in the other one, or there might be like somebody remembering something from the other of the specific character, so that voice appears in that. So it's really cool that they put their time and effort into that. And whenever you kill a boss, they do play kind of like an ending theme, where it just looks like a 1980s anime scroll up ending with a super slow, super feely song. And it's just so well done. And then there's a literal transition where there's a G in the middle of the screen, and then you see the bar on the side filling up, saying 3. Next episode starts in 3, 2, 1, cocoon, and the new episode starts. It's just those fucking nuggets of pure brilliance.
It's very creative.
It's incredible. It's awesome. Like I said before, I love Gene the cat being voiced by Shao Kahn. That meow. It's super great. And whenever you're like in a mission and he's talking to you in the background and you just see the cat flying around you, it's just great. It's fucking awesome. I love how gratuitously violent the game is and how many fuck yous, bitch, asshole, dickhead, fuck what, shithead, and whatever else you can think of there are in the game.
You're welcome, Mama.
The game has a shit ton of great ideas and things that make it stand out from a lot of other games in the market. And I love how it pokes fun at other video game genres. One boss fight is literally a Final Fantasy fight. It's turn-based RPG type fight. There's a boss fight that's literally Smash Bros with the percentage gauges and everything
That's
for damage
awesome.
indicating. Like the end when you kill the boss, he like flies off the screen and it explodes and goes like game.
That always happens to me.
It's so good. It's so fucking good. There's a boss fight that you're literally playing musical chairs against the boss.
What?
Yeah. And I love how the game sometimes turns into a space shooter against some bosses. And there's one horror scenario in the game where you're walking through a haunted school with a flashlight, just seeing like ghosts and stuff. The game is just clever and funny. And I also love how when you go save the game, Travis literally has to take a shit.
That is ridiculous.
It is.
This Joker wanted me to take a picture of this damn game on the toilet.
Yes, I did. Or the picture that we're
I
using
should
for
have
the
taken a
art.
picture of you on the toilet
With the
holding
game?
it.
That would have been great.
Photoshop it coming out of your ass.
Oh, God. So overall, this game has a ton of great ideas, but a lot of bad executions. The story is funny and full of heart. Boss fights are fun when they're done right, because there are some really, really good boss fights in the game. And the style of the game is unmatched. It is Suda 51 everywhere, every which way you look at it. It's that there's no mistake in that. But because it's a Suda 51 game, it does suffer a lot by being an open world, having you have to make money to get into the fights, having to go through the qualifying matches to get into the fights. It just killed my enjoyment of the game. If this game would have been more linear, like just one straight shot of let's keep it episodic but nix the open world aspects of it, or at least done it like the second one where they took out the open world but they let you still see the city and go do specific stuff in separate parts of the city, I feel like I would have enjoyed it more. I did love Shadows of the Damned. I loved Killer is Dead. I've loved the previous two No More Heroes, except for the open world parts. And I feel like this game would have been a much more enjoyable experience if it would have taken just that one aspect out and would have just kept the game more constant without adding the progression armor onto the enemies. Because of that, this game sadly is a 6 out of 10.
I mean, that's not as low as I thought you were going to go.
I'll
be shocked the day you go below a 5.
The thing is, what I loved from this game, I fucking loved. Like, I was going for it. Like, I was sitting on this couch laughing my ass off. I was laughing hard. But what I hated, I really fucking hated.
That sucks.
And God, Kaz did such a great job. And I am happy that they are going to make a fourth No More Heroes, which, wow, I'm so excited about that. But I really hope that they do make some small changes to actually make it a game that is worth the score that it deserves, which, if done right, even though this is somewhat of a budget title, this could easily be a 9 or a 10 for me. Because if it wouldn't have been for this would have been a 10. But you know what time it is?
I do know what time it is. I'm really excited about this time today.
It's 8:48 p.m.
Oh shit, this is going to be a long fucking episode.
All right. What time is it?
Give me the garbage.
All right. That is Give Me the Garbage.
this week's restaurant is a restaurant we never would have gone to before if it had not been for Orlando's Magical Dining Month and the fact that Matt and Marla remember that it's magical dining.
We're poor, yo.
We are so poor, yo. Okay, but basically, magical dining is like a time of year where you can experience the wonders of Orlando's culinary scene. And it's basically this event that runs from I think the last couple days of August, normally just through the beginning of October, but I'm looking at their website now. It's actually been extended through October 17th. Unfortunately, that is just before your family gets here. So
shit.
Damn it. Maybe they'll extend it again. Probably not. But so we went to the Melting Pot with our friends Matt and Marla. And oh my God, basically magical dining. You get to go to these super fancy restaurants and you get a 3-course meal, sometimes more than that, depending on their portion sizes, for $37 per person.
I feel
which
like if
is
we went
really
to Tutu
cheap.
Tango, we would end up hungry anyway.
Right? Even though they have more than 3 courses, you'd still be hungry.
Like a 20-course meal and you would still be hungry.
Don't get us wrong. Tutu Tango is tasty
It is
fuck,
delicious, but it is so
it's
tiny.
tapas and it is tiny.
I feel like it's tiny for tapas.
I remember that one night, that last time that we went, I was still hungry and we spent more than $100 there. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the first time we go, we spent like $200.
I don't think we've ever had $200 to drop on a meal, have we?
We did. We did at one point.
Oh boy, I wish we could have that $200 back now.
Yeah, I don't want to go to working that many hours.
Oh yeah, you were working a crazy amount then, but we had money in the bank, so whatever. Okay, so yeah, we went to the Melting Pot. Now with magical dining, you're given a limited menu. You don't get to choose from their entire menu, but it didn't even fucking matter at Melting Pot. So, for the first course, which is appetizer, it's your cheese course. I need to also say that the Melting Pot is a fondue restaurant, so you're literally just eating a bunch of dippers with skewers.
It was amazing.
Okay, so the first course was the cheese course. We got the Fiesta cheese fondue. I'm going to butcher all of these things. It is aged cheddar.
Wow, you said that so wrong.
Emmentaler, lager beer, house-made salsa, and jalapenos. But that first course, you're given a cutting board full of broccoli and cauliflower and bread chunks
and apples and chips and
what else? Carrots. And
carrots weren't good.
No, the carrots were good.
I did not like the carrots.
I didn't like the apples. I thought the apples and the cheese were really weird, but you loved the apples and the cheese.
They were phenomenal.
That was so strange. He asked for extra apples.
It was like very savory cheese, and then the apple. I remember the apple being incredibly sour.
Yeah, it was super sour. They were green apples, and they were sour as fuck.
It just melded so right. It just felt like umami. I think that's the first time I've ever said that word out loud.
Oh my gosh. But another thing that I forgot to mention that I didn't know before going there is all of this food is cooked in front of you. So you have cooking stations on each table, and you have this little fondue pot where they melt your cheese in front of you, and the next course is the meat course. So
wait, before that, that option, the appetizer, you can add a charcuterie board for
an extra $13 or something like that.
Yeah, we didn't do that.
We thought about doing it. I think we should do it next time.
Yeah, because I feel like it would be great.
Yeah.
So, what about the next one?
The main course?
Yes.
Okay, so for the main course, you have to choose your cooking style. And with the cooking style, you're given the option of seasoned court bouillon, mojo, coquavin, or bourgeois or something.
Let me see.
Bourgeois. Very, very bottom of the page. Bourgeois.
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 So this is
Bourgeois. I took French, but fuck, we got the cocaine, which is
Marla got the.
They got the mojo.
They got the mojo, and it did not smell like any mojo I smelled before.
No, it didn't smell like mojo.
It smelled like jerk lemon with a little tiny spritzer of mojo.
But the cocaine was burgundy wine infused with fresh herbs, spices, and mushrooms.
Yes, mushrooms.
So with this, you get to choose what kind of meat you want to cook in this broth. I chose the classic, which was garlic pepper sirloin, shrimp, Memphis-style dry rub pork, teriyaki marinated sirloin, and herb-crusted chicken breast. Because my poor husband is allergic to shellfish, I decided to sub my shrimp for extra teriyaki marinated sirloin. And he got the steak lovers, which is filet mignon, teriyaki marinated sirloin, and garlic pepper sirloin. Holy shit. So this course...
we also got...
you got an extra side of duck.
Can you read what the duck is? It's like orange roasted.
It is honey orange duck breast.
Honey orange duck breast. Okay.
Yes.
So can I start with the duck?
I suppose you can.
I didn't like the duck.
You didn't like the duck? I thought you liked the duck.
I love duck.
Oh.
I didn't like the orange part of the duck.
Oh.
So I am grateful that the hot bubbling wine sauce broth managed to wash off
the honey orange shit.
It did not mix well with that wine.
Oh.
It was
maybe if you'd had a different broth.
How can
style.
Maybe I feel like mojo would work for it, but it just felt like it had a bite, like a really off-putting,
like unpleasant bite.
Yeah, it felt like a bitter bite, like bitter orange bite. That was my one problem. The texture was great and the duck flavor itself was good, but that bitterness was kind of off-putting. That's why I just threw all of it in there and just ate that first.
Yeah, so they bring all of this meat out to you raw, and you let it cook in this broth, and all of the meats have different cooking times.
I had my phone out with my timer.
We were all setting timers on our phones. I was setting extra long timers because I have a meat paranoia, and I had chicken. If we were to go back, I would definitely ask to sub the chicken too. Like, I'm allergic to poultry. And he's allergic to shellfish, so only give us red meat, bitches.
Just do the steak one. The steak one was phenomenal.
I mean, that teriyaki marinated sirloin was definitely my favorite.
It was really good.
It was so good.
It was really good. I really liked the peppered one. What was the peppered one?
The garlic pepper sirloin?
Yes, that one.
That one was quite tasty too.
It was really good, especially because the pepper stuck to the beef, so you got like that really nice spicy pepper itch in the back of your tongue. I really like that.
Yeah, and it's cool because the skewers they give you, each person has skewers with like a different plastic colored end, so you can keep track of whose skewer is whose, and you're not stealing each other's meat and stuff the whole time.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you have to let it sit in there for
tell me
while.
about the sauces.
The sauces. So they give you several different sauces. I wasn't able to find a list online of the sauces. But, oh, gosh, there's a ginger sauce. There's a yogurt curry sauce that we really thought was going to be the nastiest thing ever.
You thought that was going to be the nastiest ever.
But it was delicious. There was this gorgonzola sauce. And gorgonzola is very similar to blue cheese, so I really liked that one. And then there's like this steak, like cream cheese stuff. It's like chives and I don't even know what.
It was chives, cream cheese, and sour cream.
It was so good.
That one was really good.
There were some really fucking weird ones.
I grabbed that sauce and I threw it on the mushrooms. Karradyne, this is a live studio. What is our audience going to think?
They're going to think that we're responsible and don't want children, and we're preventatively
taking
taking
your
preventative
alarm
measures to not have babies.
So yeah, so
to be quite frank,
so stupid. That one sauce with the sour cream, the cream cheese.
It was like a cream cheese.
Yeah, so
it spread like that.
I took that one and I put it in one of the mushrooms that was inside the broth.
Oh.
Ooh, that was a good bite. That
See,
was
I
a
don't
really
think I
good
got
bite.
any of the mushrooms. I only got the broccoli and the potatoes. But that broccoli that cooked in that broth, they bring you a bowl full of potatoes and broccoli and mushrooms
Yeah.
to cook in the broth while all of your meats. Oh my god.
Yeah, there was
so good.
a plum sauce that I really liked too.
I hated the plum sauce. It was nasty as fuck.
It was sweet. It was very sweet, and it was light and
It
very
was awful.
fruity. I
It was
really liked that
terrible.
one. That one was really
Terrible.
good with the peppered steak.
So bad.
But the one that was really nasty was the ginger one. I think it was like ginger and molasses.
Oh,
It was
no, so bad.
It tasted like motor oil.
So yeah, there were like 3 sauces that were really good, but they give you a good chunk, so you're pretty set.
Yeah.
Then
Your pork,
my pork.
the Memphis style pork.
It was good. I liked all of my meat. I wasn't a huge fan of the chicken.
You weren't kind of paying attention to what you were putting in, so when the pork came out, you thought it was chicken.
I did.
And
I was so
actually,
paranoid.
You thought the chicken was the pork, so you gave me the chicken.
Oh, I did. I'm sorry.
And I didn't get to try the pork, and I
Totally
really
didn't do that on purpose.
I really wanted to try the pork.
Oh.
So tell me about the dessert.
Oh my god. For the dessert, we chose the yin yang chocolate fondue, which is dark and white chocolate swirled together, literally making a yin and yang symbol. You will see this on our Instagram. It is beautiful, and
It tastes even more beautiful.
we'd known how good the white chocolate was going into it, because I would have overridden everything and said, only give us white chocolate, bitch.
Yeah.
Only the white. I mean, the regular chocolate, the milk chocolate is good too.
It wasn't milk chocolate.
It wasn't milk chocolate?
It was dark chocolate.
It was dark chocolate.
Yes.
Well, it was still really good, but holy shit was that white chocolate out of this world. Oh my god. And oh my god, this was my favorite course. I mean, even I have a really, really bad sweet tooth, but even if I were not a sweet tooth person, I think this still would
You're
have
not
been
a
my
chocolate
favorite.
person.
I'm not a chocolate person, and I was obsessed. So the dippers they give you for this are brownies and chocolate chip cookies, marshmallows,
Rice Krispie treats.
Oreo covered marshmallows, bananas, strawberries, pound cake. The waffles. Holy
The
shit.
waffles.
The waffles were my favorite. The waffles and the bananas, I think, were my favorite parts.
We added on the dessert
The
tray,
sweet additions.
which
So
is
that-
$8.
Yes, that includes. It's so worth it. It's way, way worth it. It includes cheesecake, which I actually loved more than he did. I have
I'm the
dreams about
I'm
that
the
cheesecake.
cheesecake lover.
I don't like cheesecake. I
of the-
love that cheesecake.
Out of the two of us, I'm the cheesecake lover, and I did not like that cheesecake. I didn't think it was great.
It comes with macaroons and cream puffs. Oh my
Okay.
fucking goodness alive, those cream puffs.
Let me say something. It was $8. They gave us 4 different macaroons, and they were decent sized macaroons.
Yeah, we could bite them in half and each got to taste. Because there were 4 different kinds.
Those 4 macaroons anywhere else would have been like $12.
Right.
So for $8 to get 4 macaroons, 4 cream puffs, and a giant slice of cheesecake.
Yeah, I mean, it was a substantial slice of cheesecake. It was like a caramel cheesecake, right?
Yeah, it had layers of caramel. I think that's what I didn't like, the layers of caramel in the
I
middle.
loved it so much. So I think the macaroons were my least favorite part, honestly.
I mean, they weren't amazing macaroons, but they were still
They were not bad. They were
macaroons.
good. Yeah.
And even if they're not good macaroons, they're still a bitch to make. They basically charge
Yeah.
macaroons that you pay for
the labor.
For the labor.
And
It's just
Marla-
almond powder.
Marlo was telling us that sometimes the cream puffs are frozen and they're not all that great, but they were not frozen. Oh my God, y'all. I saved my second cream puff to be my very last bite of the evening because it was so perfect. The most perfect cream puff. But like, I'm really mad now because we both left like still a little bit hungry, which I think we're just pigs because those two were ready to roll out. We were still ready to eat. I wish we had asked for more dippers for the dessert because we left behind chocolate and
We did.
we did.
We
You can always
did.
ask for more dippers. No, you can't ask for like more cheesecake and macaroons and stuff 'cause that was extra.
Can I
mean,
get
if
like
you
4 more macaroons?
pay for another tray. But yeah, I wish we'd asked for like more bananas and waffles and finished off that chocolate. I have regrets. Maybe we can make it back before October 17th. We can have a 2-week early anniversary dinner at the melting pot.
We could. The Rice Krispie treat. I put it into white chocolate and I just submerged it and pulled it out. And oh my god, that is unlike any white chocolate I've ever had.
It was, I mean, like sometimes white chocolate's just a little too rich. I don't know what they did to that. I don't know if Jesus touched it or what. It was so
El Ayuwoki lo tocó.
good. What? Yeah, yeah.
He touched it.
He touched it.
He.
Oh god! But it was super cool because Matt and Marla, we basically got all different everything, so we could try each other's stuff.
They had the flaming turtle.
Yes, they got the flaming turtle. So theirs was flambéed. I have some really cool pictures of their flambéed.
That one, I tried it. That one was pretty good, and
I don't think I tasted it, but I
added-
didn't. I don't like turtle stuff really.
You don't
I
like turtles?
I don't like turtles.
They literally put a turtle on the table and set it on fire, and then
On
you
its
would
belly.
dip out its insides.
Oh God! That's so. We're gonna get flagged for animal cruelty. Jesus!
Yeah, it had crunchy bits in it too. Like they threw crunchy bits in it after they flambéed it, and
Well, I mean, don't turtle candies normally have like peanuts and stuff?
I think it's walnuts.
Crunchy stuff? Yeah.
Yeah,
I've never liked turtle stuff.
walnuts.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Don't give me chocolate and caramel together unless it's in a one of those fancy chocolate squares. I like that.
Ghirardelli's.
Yeah, those.
It was that our dessert was really good. But yeah, next time we do it, let's definitely
Get the charcuterie board.
Yeah, let's get the charcuterie
and ask for
board.
extra dippers when it comes to the dessert.
Yeah,
Finish off that chocolate. No chocolate left behind.
I wish we could do 2 appetizers and dessert because I like the melted cheese more than the beef.
Well, you can. You can. I mean, I think Marla was telling us that some people go in there only for dessert. Yeah, you can go in there and just do the bread course or just do the dessert course.
I'm going to do 2 bread courses.
Let's do it.
I want 2 bread courses.
Let's just do bread and I'll finally get the brie that I wanted. I really wanted to try the bacon and brie.
I love beef. I love meat. That's something that's never
You are a
going to change.
carnivore.
I am a carnivore. Like,
Through and through.
the redder the meat, the better. But I was not a fan of the meat cooking process.
The
And I
cooking
also
process
feel
was
like-
the only turn off. Yeah,
I
just
also
having to
feel
sit
like
there
the-
and wait.
I
and
feel like the meat was smaller, like very small because to me, the way that I eat, the pieces of meat they gave us were bite-sized.
yeah. What would have been cool is if it were just the 2 of us and they gave us the 2 serving stations, but let us have the cheese course and the main course at the same time so we could snack on the cheesy stuff while we wait for the meat to cook.
I feel like we
I
would
mean,
have,
I'm
feel
fine
like we
with
would
getting rid of the meat. I'm totally fine with
I
that.
feel like
Just
we
give me
would have to
cheese
pay
and
a lot.
dessert. That's fine.
See, we should go to. Oh, that's somewhere we could go this weekend. We were
Where?
thinking about Ichiban
Oh my God.
down the street. We should go to Ichiban this weekend. Tell Marla and Matt that we're going to Ichiban.
That's really expensive.
No, it's not. It's
we need to
25
pick somewhere less expensive.
$25 per person.
Oh my God.
All you can
Okay,
eat.
well, Marla, I hope you listen to this tomorrow. We're going to go to Ichiban. No, we always pick where we go. It's not fair.
The girls pick. You and Marla.
No,
pick?
you and me always pick.
Oh, because they always tell us you guys pick because they don't know anything about this side of town.
I guess. They can take us somewhere in Altamont.
In friendly confines.
Oh God, no, please. It's like makes me think of Denny's. Speaking of which, I am not eating at Denny's. Just gonna throw that out there for anyone who may have wanted me to eat at Denny's. My husband can go by himself.
The first date that I had with my ex was at friendly confines. So
Well, we're definitely not going there.
no, we just drank at least because the food looks nasty. All right. So what are we giving the melting pot?
Definitely a garbage. Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, I can deal with
It
that.
was so delicious. Parts of it were not as delicious as others, but the delicious parts outweighed the not as amazing bits.
The one not as amazing bit for me was
The
that
cooking time?
fucking molasses sauce
Oh. The
and
sauces, we can't judge the whole place based on the sauces.
and the bitter duck.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. Other than that, it was
It was awesome.
They were really good
It was
cuts
a really
of meat.
fun experience.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, we got to see the family in front of us eat. That was great.
Yeah, their seating is a little bit weird. The four of us were put into a booth, a one-sided booth that just faced out to the rest of our section of the restaurant. So we watched two families eat and like didn't really get to look at each other, which bothered me a lot. It's okay. And like we're not skinny, so it was just a little weird. It was a little weird to put all the not skinny people in a one-sided booth.
I was comfy, but I was at the edge, so fuck it. All right, so let's go ahead and get into some housekeeping.
Before we get to 2 fucking hours.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
man, no.
oh shit, this is a long episode.
Yeah, it is.
I think I'm gonna have to pay for the extra hours at the end of the month.
Oh.
It's fine because it's just $2 for like 2 hours. So
Okay.
yeah. All right, so let's start off with the Patreon plug. We're doing the MCU journey.
We're going to get back on track eventually. I think
No,
this
we're-
week we might get back on track.
We're falling back on track this week. We're watching the movie tomorrow. Well, today as you're listening to this. And we're recording on Wednesday when I get in from work because it's you're driving again. And it's just talking about the movie.
Yeah.
So, and we can edit while we're recording last week's episode, which was past week's episode, which was the other week before's episode.
Iron Man 2.
Yes, my sister was in it.
Check it out if you haven't.
Yeah, she didn't really talk at all. She just
She didn't know what she was doing.
She was-
You threw her into it. You didn't give her any warning.
She just shook her head yes and talked away from the microphone, so I kept trying to get back on the fucking microphone.
That was like me in the beginning.
Yep. Now I got to tell you, step back as you're breathing into it.
Sorry.
But yeah, it's been fun. We're continuing it. We're doing Thor this week.
Boyfriends.
And girlfriends.
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 Boyfriends.
I got two girlfriends.
I got 2 boyfriends.
Sweet. And remember to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at anovelconsole and on Facebook at facebook.com/anovelconsole. Don't forget, you can also tell your friends that they can find the podcast on most major podcast streaming platforms and that they can also listen on YouTube by searching for A Novel Console. Don't forget to tell them to subscribe, like, and comment, which we would be humble if they did. You should also leave a review on Apple Podcast and Google Podcast so that more people can find us. And if you guys have anything you want to say to us, anything you want to bring up, anything you would feel like should be talked about, anything you just want to say in general.
Obscure questions.
Anything at all. Just send us an email. I'll reread it.
Burger Champ's not the only person allowed to email us.
Exactly. So watch him stop.
No, please don't stop, Burger Champ, please.
So just send us an email about anything at all. If you've eaten at any other places we've eaten, if you've played any other games, read any other books, if you like Parenthood, if you like Crosby, send us an email.
If you like NSYNC, if you think there's a better album than No Strings Attached.
I do think there's a better album than
I
most
don't
things
know. I don't
attached.
think
It's
there
called The Death Album 3 by Death
Oh, please. Go somewhere else.
Just send us an email and we'll read it on the show. And art was done by Metamorphic. You can find her on Instagram, and her link is in the show notes. And with that, we're almost at 1 hour and 40 minutes. Jesus Christ.
Holy
We
shit.
talked a lot of shit this week.
You talked a lot of shit.
Well,
I took all like 10 minutes of that.
We had so much shit for the intro. I didn't want
Yeah.
to just put it off.
Intro galore.
Yeah, because I feel like it wouldn't
We've
have
been
felt the
putting
same.
it off.
I feel like it wouldn't have felt the same in a week. So,
Very true.
yeah. So, do you want to say goodbye to everyone, Karradyne?
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone.